What's up, everybody? My name is Mr. Cow, and today we're going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite TV shows, Bojack Horseman. Now, this is a show that I have watched since just about the beginning. I love it to death. It's done so much for me. It got me through high school to an extent, which I know is like a corny, bad thing to say, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I watched this show a lot in high school. It helped my brain, is usually what I say about it. It just helped me think about things differently. And so this show has a very special place in my heart. And a lot of people have been wondering, where is Season 6? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. A couple of things about Season 6. My hopes for it, what I expect to see, and most importantly, which we're going to talk about first, when the hell is it coming out? Because in 5 days, on September 14th, it'll be the 1-year anniversary of the release of Season 5. Now, a little bit of backstory. The show has been renewed 100%. It's being worked on. There was a unionization of the animators, so they joined a union, so they get health benefits and stuff like that. And no matter what you think of that, personally, I think it's great. Just seeing what animators have to do, trying to animate myself, it's a stupid amount of work. It's a stupid, crazy amount of work, and to be on a deadline like on Netflix or something like that, making these big TV shows is just crazy to me. And so I think if they were being even slightly mistreated, if a union can help that, I hope the union helps that, and I hope it turns out well for them. And it looks like it has been turning out well for them, because a lot of animators have been joining that union, a lot of animation groups. So that's a good or bad way to see it. The good reason, because, animators are getting better. The bad reason, because it delayed the release of the show a little bit. We could have gotten this show sooner if that hadn't happened. Whether that be through crunch or just, them being on strike a little bit to get unionized or whatever, it could have come out by now, is basically what people are thinking. Personally, I'm looking at things optimistically. I like to think that this show has always been planned to come out at one time, and that if this unionization did hurt things, then I think I have a pretty good idea of when this show is coming out. On top of that, before we get into my prediction, Will Arnett said the show was about done back in May. He said it was about wrapping up on everything and getting ready to be put out. So, here's my thinking. Here's my rationalization of this whole kind of crazy lead up to this season. We are either going to get it in 5 days. 5 days, September 14th. We are either getting it on that date, or we are getting a trailer and it's going to be released in mid-October. That's my prediction. That's my simple prediction. I can't see it coming out in November. I can't see it coming out in December, unless there's some theme to this new season where it has to be released like around fall time, so that as you're watching the episodes, maybe if you're doing like a once-a-week thing, it kind of leads into Thanksgiving or Christmas or something like that, or Halloween. Like the last season kind of did a little Halloween episode. But in my opinion, if the show was close to completion back in May, if the animators are happy, it makes sense to see it in 5 days, although it's a bit optimistic. But like I said before, I'm an optimistic person. I'd love to see it then. But I think the most realistic guess is mid-October. I think that's the most realistic guess I have for you guys. If you guys have any other better guesses, post them down in the comments below. We may get some news on this in a couple of days that just completely makes this video useless. But I'd like to think that mid-October makes sense. And I know that's a bit more of a wait. But following up Season 5 is no easy task, because Season 5 was easily the best season of Bojack, in my opinion. It was fantastic. So moving away from predictions for the release date into predictions for Season 6. What do I think we're going to see in this show? Well, honestly, the end of Season 5 was a big moment. A huge moment. Bojack finally decides, spoilers for Season 5 if you haven't seen it yet, Bojack finally decides to give rehab a try, which is just fantastic. If you look at shows like 13 Reasons Why that also claim to deal with mental issues and abuse and stuff like that, there's no point where they're like, oh, I'm going to try to get better with the help of others. It's always this romanticizing, look how sad I am, this is so bad, but it's always kind of underlying it with this romanticized view of it. Bojack, however, really takes it to rock bottom before they get to that next up point. So maybe that's what 13 Reasons Why is doing, although there's never been anything close to showing anything hopeful in that show. It's always just been this bleak romanticization of depression, and it's horrible. I hate it. But this show took its time, and by Season 5, we got to see a rock bottom Bojack Horseman. Like, holy crap. The Showstopper and the Stop Show, the last 2 episodes of Season 5, are phenomenal. They are incredible. And the one before that, Head in the Clouds, was so good. And Free Churro was amazing. This season of Bojack Horseman was fantastic. And so with this big moment at the end, I cannot wait to see where it goes. Where do I think it'll go? No idea. No idea. This is such a big moment. It could go in any direction. There's been a lot of predictions with the Mr. Peanut Butter scenario, though, with him getting engaged to Pickles, the weird dog lady who's like 20-something when Mr. Peanut Butter is like 40-something. Personally, this is how I think it's going to go. There's been a lot of theorizing about this just idea in general. I think as Bojack gets better, Mr. Peanut Butter is going to get worse. I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see a kind of switch in personalities a little bit in that era, because Mr. Peanut Butter has always been like a happy-go-lucky guy, really, you know, optimistic, really crazy and fun, while Bojack's always been kind of miserable. And maybe after rehab, maybe after Bojack gets himself put together and stuff, we'll see kind of near the end of Season 5, Bojack becoming a better person, because it doesn't happen overnight at rehab. We'll see him start to become a better person, and Mr. Peanut Butter kind of slip off and become a little bit of a worse person, to the point where I think later on in the series, their stances basically are going to switch. Bojack is going to be the more happy, content one, while Mr. Peanut Butter is the more miserable one. That's something that I could definitely see happening. You kind of look at Mr. Peanut Butter's character. He's always been very happy and optimistic. He's always been very just at peace with the situation, but also really interested in having fun with the situation. But now he's making what is very clearly a huge mistake that can only end poorly. It can only end poorly. There's no way this can go any other direction. And I think it's gonna lead to something crazy. If not my theory, something else that I can't even predict. So that's a big one. Princess Carolyn has a baby. I'd love to see how that goes. Balancing that with the agency. Just a lot of stuff going on. A lot of cool stuff. Todd and Diane really don't have anything too big going on, and those are most of the main characters right there. But I'm just excited to see where it goes. There's so much cool stuff that can go on in Season 6, and I cannot wait for it. I cannot wait for it. Season 5 was, in my opinion, the best season of the show. I'd love to hear down below what you guys think of all this. What's your favorite season? When do you think it's going to come out? All that stuff. Your predictions. Do you have any theories about it? Hit me up with them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm going to go to a college class, come back and edit the shit out of this video, and then put it out for you guys. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.